Hello, good evening, good day to all. Welcome back to the Mancunian Way, Blues Down Under, episode 11. I'm your host, Patrick, a very late Patrick. I can only apologise, guys. I've just had an absolute mare with my PC. In fact, I'm just looking at it right now, and the thing is still loading. Well, as far as I know, it's still loading. Yeah, guys, we've had a bit of a mare here, and probably someone to give me a good old rinsing about it this evening is my colleague in league, Rich. How are you, mate?
Very good, very good. That BBC microcomputer. You should have read my messages. Join on the phone.
Someone mentioned Commodore 64. I'm thinking more like a bloody ColecoVision or something.
And there's so much to talk about.
I don't know, mate. Like I said, I'd love to be up to date, but I have no bloody PC. So I don't know if there's been anything that's happened in the last couple of hours. I think the first thing we need to do is probably just touch bases what's happened over the last, say, 12 to 24 hours because
you can get the internet on your phone now. Did you know that?
No, I'm aware of that. But these last few hours, I don't know, a lot of things could have kicked off. Who knows?
Well, in shocking news, we've signed Mbappe, and Scott McTominay is coming back from Napoli in exchange for Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah, very believable.
Be interesting.
Very, very believable. Yeah, sure. No worries. That's fine. I think first things first. We'll just quickly touch base on. Sorry, mate?
So it's more believable than signing Donnarumma. But anyway,
True. And Martin's just messaged me saying, apparently there's been no bid for Edison either. So, to me, yeah, I wanted to believe it was agents talk, and it looks like my prayers have come true. So, as far as I know, it looks like it just looks like it's going to be Eddie will stay, and see, for me, it was like even if the pieces moved, it just didn't make any sense. Donnarumma coming in and then fighting with Trafford, who's just come in, and Donnarumma is going to be asking for salary or wages that are probably going to be about two and a half times as much as what Edison was on. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. The more and more you try to dissect it, the less and less it makes sense.
But it's pretty clear that talks have taken place. Yeah, all the reliable French outlets saying that talks have taken place and there's something in it. So I assumed it was just completely made up, but it obviously isn't completely made up. There is obviously something in it. And yes, we'll have to switch Ederson. But the trouble is, we're not going to get much for Ederson because ultimately the bid for him is all about wages for the player. It's not about City getting anything.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I just think the club are just quite happy to just let Eddie wind out his contract, and then he just goes on, and then a year of Trafford as his understudy is just going to do. It's just going to work wonders, basically. So I can't see anything, anything necessarily wrong with that, to be honest.
I can't, but I just think there's too much noise in this for it to just be paper talk. There is obviously interest in City and Donnarumma. There's obviously something in it. There's too much noise, too many people talking about it for it to be nothing. Now, clearly we need to sell 2 goalkeepers to get it in, but it does look like it wouldn't. I think the only thing holding back Ederson moving at the minute is the fact that Galatasaray probably only want to spend 5 million or something on him.
Yeah, well, Cameron's just come in saying apparently the rumour is 12 million for Ederson. I mean, that's half as much as what the Saudis wanted for him a year ago. So
we'd sell him for that in a drop of a hat. I reckon so, if we got 10 million euros, I reckon we'd sell him at the drop of a hat. But I think we thought that 3 million euros, which is what allegedly Galatasaray offered, it was taking the piss a bit too much.
Yeah, a bit of a joke, that one anyway. Yeah, but going back to Donnarumma, it's like we knew for a fact that that it'd be talk when all this talk was surfacing about Ederson, and one of the main things that stood out was the fact that he was barely inside the top 20 for highest paid goalkeepers in world football. And then, of course, I believe somewhere up in the top 5 or top 10 is Donnarumma, who's on about the best part of about 2.5 times the salary per week of what Ederson's on.
Yeah.
So, like for like, he's going to be asking for similar, if not wages higher than that. So when you put 2 and 2 together, it just made absolutely no sense for him to come through. I just think it was more agents talk trying to put him in the shop window. There is still a little bit of uncertainty in terms of the dynamic or the politics of the goalkeepers union at the moment. So it kind of makes sense why you could put the story out there, but I don't know.
I think it's a lot more than agents talk. I don't think L'Équipe don't run a story like they did on agents talk. City didn't come out and deny it. If it was just agents talk, City would have shut it down through the press already. So there's obviously a lot more to it than agents talk. I think it's a strange one in that, in many ways, Donnarumma is the best old-style goalkeeper on the planet. His shot stopping is fantastic. He's just won the treble, and had a great season, but he's not playing with his feet, and it seems to me like going to Donnarumma is a bit like when we got rid of Hart and got in Claudio Bravo, in that it would bring a change that big. That said, if we're confident John Stones is fit this season, because I'll tell you what, if we sign Donnarumma, as Martin said, Donnarumma would make us a lot stronger in defending a transition. It would be a lot stronger than having Ederson when, teams break on us, because he's a fantastic shot stopper, but he's not a playmaker. So we would have to have Stones fit and playing, because you can't have a defender like Ruben Diaz playing in front of Donnarumma, or that we've played there with 3 really good footballers. If we suddenly have Diaz and Donnarumma, we're not going to be able to play the way we play. If Stones is fit, Stones and Guardiola, are good enough ball-playing centre-backs that they could compensate for what we'd lose with Donnarumma coming in if he comes. But it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting that PSG have a player rated the best goalkeeper in the world, and yet Enrique obviously thinks that he can gain more from Chevalier instead of Donnarumma. So I don't know what's happened, what fallout's happened behind the scenes, but it's pretty bizarre when someone who's central to a treble win is suddenly being let go for, not much money. And it's not like it's 2 years later, like Jack Grealish. This is straight after a treble win for them. And yeah, it's a big call.
Yeah, look, I totally get why, Donnarumma was probably looking for a bigger payday because, he's just basically, I wouldn't say single-handedly, but he was a huge contributing factor to their, European success last season. But to put, City in the spotlight as saying that, yes, we're the favourites to get him, or we're certainly in a strong chance to get him. I don't know. It didn't seem right when I tried to put all the options together. But yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the fact that he is a very, very good keeper. But like in terms of how we play, you do feel like it was going backwards. I do also wanted to ask you too, because I just randomly saw passing through on my Facebook. You made a comment on some post about saying that this might be a bit of a factor for Ruben Diaz if we were to get him in. Like, do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just saying that is that if Donnarumma comes in, and I think it's a lot more likely than you do, because I trust that the amount of sources in France talking, it's not just an agent drumming something up. And he's been left out of the squad, so he's leaving PSG, no question. If he leaves PSG, there's about 5 clubs he'd want to go and join. And, very clearly, there are messages about that. Now, my comment on Diaz is that if Donnarumma plays, you lose the passing at the back and the starting of play. You step backwards a big bit from Ederson, because Donnarumma is he's going to be better at coming for crosses. He's going to be better at shot stopping. He's going to be better coming out and one-on-ones. He's going to be better at making saves, but he's not going to be better at taking the ball, passing it, using his feet, putting in balls to players. So essentially, you're going to need that from your centre-backs. So you're going to need your centre-backs to be brilliant ball-playing centre-backs, because they're going to have to take more responsibility for starting the play, for recycling the ball without necessarily going via the goalkeeper, but, moving it between your back four. Now, to me, that's Diaz's weakness. I don't think he's, close to level. If you have Stones and Guardiola, I think you've got 2 centre-backs who are potentially one proven world-class and one definitely, is going to be world-class if he isn't already at being a ball-playing centre-back. And then you can have that. But I really think that if you've got Donnarumma, you need Stones. Possibly Kuznetsov in time, because I think Kuznov's going to be a very good ball-playing centre-back. But you need ball-playing centre-backs. So I think you've got, so to me, that puts a question mark on Diaz. If we have Donnarumma. I think the other rumour, Rodrygo is far more logical, makes far more sense. And, it's a move I've been expecting for a year or two, because there have been too many times over the last few years when Rodrygo's gone out of his way to praise City or Pep. And there's been times when Pep's gone out of his way to praise Rodrygo. And, in every game where we've played Real Madrid, he's always been the one who's prepared to work harder, do a bit more running and play for the team. Whereas I've always felt Vinicius, Mbappe, Bellingham, they play for themselves. They're like, Gordon and Jimmy Grimble. They play for themselves. They are unquestionably amazing footballers, but they work for themselves. They don't work for the team. And Rodrygo, to me, along with Kroos and Modric, were the players who work for the team, who you think could go anywhere, work hard and fit in. And, when Mahrez went, we lost goals, we lost assists, we lost a threat from the right. Savio didn't bring that. And to me, I just see Rodrygo bringing some goals, a bit more of a contribution. And I've always seen him as being somebody who looked like he'd be a really good Pep player. So that one I've thought a year, a summer ago, and I rated him against us. I thought he was their best player in many of the games against us, certainly among their front three, when I think, okay, Mbappe was unbelievable at their place last year, but I've often thought Vinicius is flattered to deceive, and it's Rodrygo who looks the player, who they should be playing more. And he has clearly fallen out with Madrid. He went off in his car when all the other players went off in the team bus last night. He got hoisted in the air when he scored a goal coming off the bench, like he just scored the World Cup winner. So I think he's off. And, it makes sense to me. It would be City. It could be someone else. I'm hoping it isn't. I'm hoping it's City. I wouldn't like to see Arsenal or Liverpool get him. Because I don't really see go anywhere else apart from Arsenal or Liverpool. But I think he wants to play for Pep. So I think a deal gets done.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think out of all the attack options that Madrid have, if there was ever a player to play under Pep, to play at this club, would probably be Rodrygo. He just seems the most sensible of them all. Now, there is a little bit of talk going around too, and I think Martin mentioned this on the Oil Brothers, their first Oil Brothers show a few hours ago. If you haven't, have a good listen to it, by the way, too, because him and Baz were fantastic on it, and shout out to Ed as well. He does have a little bit of the tendency to throw the toys at the pram. But I wonder, and I'm going to get Martin in on this as well, too. Do you think that is necessarily a Rodrygo thing, or do you think that is a Real Madrid thing? Because they are known. Some of the players are known to do it as well.
I think that is a Real Madrid wanting to put out reasons why Rodrygo would rather leave Madrid and play for City. They have to make it like they're getting rid of him, not he wants out. So I wouldn't believe any stories like that. I judge by the attitude on the pitch, and I've seen Mbappe, I've seen Vinicius, I've seen Bellingham throw their toys out the pram every bloody time they go on the pitch. And I haven't seen that from Rodrygo. I've seen Rodrygo work hard, give it for the team. So I honestly think that's just Real Madrid propaganda, because probably Rodrygo thinks he's playing alongside three, give it to Gordon egos, and he wants out. So, and the journalist who made that comment on LB's show made it absolutely clear she was Real Madrid through and through. She wasn't that bothered about any player if they weren't playing for Real Madrid. So why, so it's like, look at Liverpool with Sterling. They hated the idea he wanted to leave and go somewhere else. And so, they made up 1,000 stories about him just to try and, pretend that no one would ever want to leave their club unless they were forced out.
Yeah, that's right. Evening, Martin. Weird times we're living in now, doing business with clubs we never used to do business with before.
Got an update.
All right.
Scott McTominay, it's on.
So it was worth the wait then, was it?
Well, at the moment we're all gaslit over absolutely nought.
No. Well,
yeah.
I'm not going to say I was gaslit. I just tried to put everything together, and it just didn't seem right. So I was always cautious.
Yeah. I did double check. I did ask Trafford. The plan was Edison was to stay a year, go out on a fray. Trafford get the odd game. He was going to be number one. That was the plan. That was the bill of goods James Trafford was told. Up to now, Galatasaray are doing what they are always doing and doing talking in the media and not doing anything with the club. There has been no official bid. But yeah, there is no official bid from Edison at the moment. Not saying there won't be. I'm not saying there ain't going to be. But right now, Galatasaray have made no official bid for Edison. While that is the lay of the land, then I'm sorry, Donnarumma ain't coming in. Now, if that does happen, yes, there is an interest in Donnarumma. Again, Whether plans have changed, I don't know. Regards to Rodrygo, yes. Again, City are ready. Nothing is happening until Savinio leaves. Tottenham have not come back with an improved offer. So everyone, I think what's happened is, and I have on the spaces and shows, I've done air of cautions all over, and I've always said, unless A and B happens, C is not happening.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Romano said 24 hours ago.
Rico Lewis, bid was made, bid was rejected. We'll see what happens.
Just before you jump in, Rich, we've just had memberships renewals come in as well too. Let's see. So we've got Aaron with the 8 months. Big up to yourself, mate. Thank you again for all your support. And Adam Quinn with the 21 months. Big up to yourself, mate. Much appreciated for everything that you guys do. Of course, if you want to be a member, just follow, subscribe, and join as well if you want to be a part of the part of what we do here as well. And of course, my first time at doing this, and it's on my phone as well. But here we go. Hang on.
I'm emotional. I mean, this is a dream come true. All these guys deserve. All these guys around here.
So there you go. I don't know.
You're not having a good day with this technology, are you? You're not having
no, well, first time doing it on my phone, mate. So I've got fat fingers, so I don't know how you're doing the bloody car. I mean, you shouldn't be driving and doing the same thing anyway.
Pat,
no, I'm done. I've just come out of hospital.
Yeah, you went in charge of engineering at Changi Airport, were you, Pat?
What?
So you went in charge of, air operations at Changi Airport a couple of weeks ago, were you?
No, they won't allow me anywhere near Singapore. They don't like me there. I've had so many issues with staff travel there. That's for sure. And I have no idea why.
Flying on the same plane as me, probably.
Oh, God forbid. God forbid. Could you imagine bloody? Never mind. Anyway, it is what it is. What other news do we have? Jack Grealish, of course. Yes, season-long loan to Everton, and it has been confirmed that Everton will cover 75% of his wages, which is approximately around £225,000 of his £300,000 a week salary. So we wish him all the best with that, of course. I believe he's taking the number 18 shirt. Good signing for Everton. I think it's a nice short-term project for them that they can work with. I'm sure David Moyes will be able to get a good tune out of him as well. I think the most important thing is I think it's a good signing for them, given that they're in a new stadium. You want a bit of publicity, you want a bit of PR in that as well too. So I can't think of. It just seems all around, just seems something sensible for all parties concerned, really. Yeah. So, happy with it.
I think they need. I think Everton need a hero. They need a player with a bit of flair, top quality player who they can really get behind, get some buzz back into the club. Because I think, they've had, they haven't had a lot to be too happy about for quite a few years now. With the exception of staying up right at the end of the season, which Everton deserve and should be doing more than that. So I think Grealish could be a really good move for them. New ground, I think he's still a very good player, and I think he might do really well for them. I think the only problem might be is at the end of it, are they going to really spend 50 million on a 30-year-old? Even if he's had a great season. So, but we'll see.
Martin, I think Everton is perfect for him because he'll get ample amounts of game time in the league and the cup matches. Just what he needs if he wants to try and get into that England squad.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect move for him. Absolutely perfect move. I think he's going to get what he wants. stays in the northwest and he gets stuff like.
He can't play
wish him all the
against
best.
Yeah,
I wish him all the best. I hope he has. It's a good point. I didn't even think about that one. Yeah, he won't be playing against us.
Can't play against us, so he can't do us any harm this season, which is good.
Yeah, just this season.
Well, he can't do.
Sorry,
can't.
People are asking me what the goalkeeping situation is. For anyone who missed it, Galatasaray have made no official bid for Edison. Until that official bid comes, nothing is happening with Donnarumma. And the plan was, and this is what Trafford was told, Edison was going to stay a year, then Trafford fought for number one.
Yeah, Prince Harry, not the real Prince Harry, I don't know, but if it is, good on you. Do we think it's likely Tottenham to pluck out extra money for Savio? Well, it's Daniel Levy. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to play the winning game, is he, guys?
Well, I said this. Remember, I did the show with Steve and Pulpy. By the way, big up Steve Lewis and Pulpy who came on. And I did say this. I said, Tottenham also be careful. Daniel Levy's not going to give you what you want up front. If Daniel Levy wanted to, he can drag this right till the end. Yeah. And you've got to remember, if he gets his player and stops us running out of time on Rodrygo, that's the kind of thing Daniel Levy does.
That's what I was thinking. You mentioned what I was thinking. I was like, he would happily drag his knuckles if it meant that it was going to take too long for us to get Rodrygo through the door.
Yeah. And that was always my worry. And this is why the other day I did put a very big air of caution next to this. I understand the excitement. I know everyone's run away on the train and they're getting giddy on the signings. That's why I said A and B have to happen for C to come. The squad's already full. They can't just add Rodrygo and Donnarumma without anybody going out.
Oh, man, we've been saying that since the Club World Cup, mate. We've been saying that since Club World Cup. Yeah.
I know what's coming. I know the trouble. Part of this is Fabrizio's fault. Fabrizio has gone live on this. I think Donnarumma's agent has pushed this through Fabrizio as well, because I do believe it is true. I do think there is interest in Donnarumma, but I think Fabrizio's gone early on it. Good afternoon, Elliot.
Elliot, how are you, mate? I had a sixth sense knowing you were on, mate, because I put my John Stones shirt up there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's only come on for an argument, Rich.
Went and got mine the other day, to be fair.
Excellent.
Send it over tomorrow.
Did you sell yourself and get a home
Rich?
kit with a sash on it?
Yeah.
Send it over tomorrow, pal. Is it just the
you've not got
one?
James
Is it the new
one?
Is it the new one you want as well? No, I got my Donnarumma one, mate. Got my Donnarumma one instead.
No, you're getting that bloody rain kit on Thursday, aren't you?
Hey, I'll be going nowhere near that one, Pat. Let me tell you that, man.
Oh, I just even you know, like when you get excited over a rumored kit and they do the pre-release promotional stuff, and it's just like, look, I appreciate, you know, they did the filming outside of the Martin's Chippy outside the South Stand, but like I just couldn't get myself hyped for it. It's just like, you know what's going to happen here? It's just going to be, from every angle, it looks like a Temu knockoff. It looks like something Temu would make, and it's bloody cringe.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
He's growing on me, I won't.
How about wearing your Melbourne City kit first before you wear that one, mate?
Well, maybe I will tonight. But chill out, Jesus.
Took you long enough.
So Donnarumma news then, Martin?
Well, there ain't any at the minute.
Nah? Just all them people just reporting it, just they've not had anything, no?
Just need to sell Edison, that's all, Elliot.
Yeah, tell me about it,
Yeah,
Rich. It's done. It's done. Yeah, listen, if you're falling for that one, let's not do this. What they're doing is they're wanting a fee for Edison. Yeah, why would you openly say, Donnarumma, yeah, you're going to join? No, it's Galatasaray. Yeah, we still want 25 million. Come on, they're not going to do that, are they? We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that for ourselves. So they're not going to do it. And that's where I stand with it, to be honest. Do you want us to believe that, Martin? And or not?
I think there's a game of poker going on at the minute with club, media, agents. I think they're all playing a game of poker
with a full box of, or basically with a full box of dominoes, and not a single piece has fallen.
I think what's happening is I think everyone's negotiating with each other at the minute in a way of who can we make blink first.
Yeah.
The thing I will say to you, as well, just be very thingy about who's put this Donnarumma news out. Who is it? Who's reported on it?
Fabrizio.
No. I mean the not like Edison staying. Who's the journalist who's come out and said that this morning?
Oh, Simon Majowski.
Did he not say that? Did he not say that there was transfer window were done 2 weeks ago?
No, that was Jack Gorn.
No, that was Jack Gorn.
But he's got but I think he's also reported on it as well. I think Simon's also said that. As long as like
I don't know. I will check. Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm sure that someone come out. I'm sure someone's come out the other week and said something like. I think it was Jack Gordon and Simon, and there was somebody else who said it. Don't know if it's somebody from Sky Sports.
Do you not think this is what causes a little bit of the uproar in certain things? So like me and you, Elliot, and you two on us, we had a little bit of not a heated debate, but we had a little bit of a debate about the way Trafford was being treated. Because that's how people are. Some are reporting out of Trafford was told he was going to be offered the number one when Edison goes, and now. So I don't know. There's like a big game of poker going on.
I heard Rich say this earlier on. It's absolutely is it the nail on the head for me. You can't miss these chances, because what happens is if you miss a chance like this and you put your trust in, which by the way I'm all for James Trafford to be hopefully becoming number one in the future. I'm all for that. But if you put everything in Trafford, and then 2 months, 3 months down the line, people sit around and say, not too sure about Trafford, and you have a little bit of a split in the fan debate, all of a sudden then that gets onto the pitch, the players then feel it, and then all of a sudden what you have a situation where, to me, you go, what do we do now?
Yeah. I suppose so too, Elliot. You can also say,
Elliot, are you in a submarine? Elliot's got in a submarine.
Well,
sorry, I know it's your show part.
No, you're right, mate. It's your channel.
I think this is part. No, it's not. So speak age. Stop doing that.
You're right, sorry. It's reflex.
By the way, do not be sending me a bill for fucking PCs. I know you, just because I know I say let's buy equipment, not £3,000 PCs.
Hang on a second.
David,
hang on a second. Aren't you talking to the same guy who said don't worry about the bloody shirt? And I still haven't even bothered with the camera yet, because every time I message you to say, "Oh, it's getting crap again," it starts working.
No, we'll sort it out. Don't worry. David's asked a really good question here, Martin. Which journalists should we trust them? The local ones or Fabrizio? And I think that's part of the issue. We don't know who to trust now, because different. So are the club? So what do you know? I think is happening here. Elliot will be back in a minute. Do you know what I think's happening here? I think agents are passing information to Fabrizio.
Yeah.
And the club are passing information to the local journalists. And again, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think someone's jumped 2 steps forward, and the club are airing a side of caution to the local media. So the local journalists are being told, calm it all down, relax. Things could happen, but again, A and B need to happen to get to C. Whereas Fabrizio's getting the Donnarumma agent, City want him, City want him, City want him. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I mean? I think there's 2 games being played there.
Could you even say it might even be a case of a bit of Chinese whispers in a way? In some cases, maybe the information that's first distributed comes across a bit different.
No, because I do believe they want Rodrygo, and I do believe they are interested in Donnarumma. I'm not sure how far down all these are.
Well, judging by what that Marie from Madrid said, she said it sounded like it's been going since May with Rodrygo.
Yeah. I think the Rodrygo thing, I think that happens more, but that only happens if Tottenham give us the money we want for Savinho.
That said, Martin, I reckon.
But then again,
if we really want Rodrygo, we might just say, for the extra 10 million euros we're talking about, we might just go for it and accept what we've got. I mean, the worst thing we can have is
they can't, Rich.
Yeah, they can.
No, because part of the problem with Tottenham at the minute, and again, you're going to go, well, that's Daniel Levy. They've offered us 50 million, haven't they? Yeah, that's the reported bid so far.
Yep.
It's like 50 million over like 10 years, Rich. Something daft. They're not offering us any money up top.
Well, that doesn't matter.
Nobody does to City. Nobody does to City though, doesn't it? I don't think City want it over the long term. They don't want £1 a week.
They might not, but I mean, at the end of the day, they get the money for PSR and everything else. Unless your suggestion, City have got cash flow issues, which doesn't seem likely given the money.
No. I'm not. No, I'm not saying that cash flow. I think also it's City's principles as well, Rich.
Yeah, but we can have our principle, or we can decide that we want to have the strongest team next year. I mean, it's as simple as that, really. Daniel Levy plays his games. Yeah, well, Daniel Levy plays these silly games, and what do they do for Spurs? 1 trophy in 20 years. Because they play these games, and then they end up with players staying who don't want to be there, or they end up signing the wrong players because they think they're really big balls, and they don't go and close deals that would actually improve the team. So, he can play his games, and frankly, City need to decide what we want as a team. If we want Ederson, and that's what we want, then tell him he's staying. Tell Donnarumma, sorry, mate, and you're staying, Ederson. If we want Rodrygo, go and get Rodrygo, and then, sell Savinho after. I mean, sell Savinho in parallel. It's up to us. If we don't, then we might end up with an unhappy, unsettled Savinho and Rodrygo playing, for Arsenal on the left. That's our choice.
What do we think? Yeah. What do we think? What do you think? What do you think about with what's happening with the goalkeepers? With what's happening with Ortega? Because to me, it sounds like they're very quiet on any sort of information as to where he's going or when he'll go. But to me, it sounds like with Ortega, I think City are quite happy to let this one sort of play out a little bit because they probably have some suitors. I'm of the assumption that he'll go back to Germany. I really do. I think he'll go back to Germany. But the reason I'm asking this is because I think maybe they have a certain price. Maybe a certain team has come in with a certain bid. But I don't think I think they have time on their side with him because they can wait until deadline day before they send him. Because as I think I mentioned on the show a week or two ago, I still think there's a lot of clubs out there that are still sorting themselves out in terms of goalkeeping. There's every chance that by the time the season kicks off, you may get a goalkeeper who gets a long-term injury. So there might be an opportunity for Ortega to go somewhere where we might be able to maximise or get a higher transfer fee for him. So I don't know if you think the same way, but I think someone like Ortega, I think that's – and there may be other players in the squad that might be in a similar situation as well. But I think for him, I think there'll be suitors for him. But fortunately, he's got time on his side, so I think that might work for him. I don't know what you think.
Well, I mean, David's asked in the comments, why can't we just sign Rodrygo and then sort the Savinho deal out later? They can't with the size of the squad. That's the problem. The squad's so bloated, they can't sign and then wait for someone to go out the door. Someone has to, because of the size of our squad, someone has to go out the door for someone to come in. And also, I'm going to be honest, excuse my language, I'm getting a bit pissed off with Galatasaray here. Because I think Galatasaray are playing this. Galatasaray are trying to get Ederson as cheap as possible. So they're trying to do this story that he'll be out in Turkey on Friday, and we've agreed personal terms and we've open talks. Where's the bid? I'm sick to death of teams coming in, having a walk around the shop, looking at the price on the shelf, and then umming and ahhing about it, and then going away for another week.
Okay.
If you want Ederson, make the bid.
Yeah. What did we do with Morgan Gibbs-White? We did everything that you say there. We we did all that, and then we decided, we got Cherky and buggered off.
Yeah. Well, at least we did it earlier. We're doing this
early in the window. Early in the window is a bigger factor than
early in the window, Rich. You can window shop.
I know, but the poor Blake was thinking he was going to be playing for City. Getting
one day I'd love to go down this Morgan Gibbs-White road. Yeah. And then there's the thing. Do you know the other thing where it's just the Tottenham thing was always uncomfortable with me, because Daniel Levy's, I don't know him personally, so I don't know his thing, but seems to be a bit of a dick when it comes to being a chief exec. Not a dick. Maybe a dick for if you're outside, but inside, I don't know.
A bit problematic.
Fans don't like him either.
You think
fans don't like him either?
No. You think he's a bit problematic?
I just think he's one of the worst people to deal with when it comes to deals.
He just wants to make problems out of nothing, basically.
Well, no, I think he's about making money, about making Tottenham worth so much more. They're not really about winning things. They finally get a manager who wins them something, and they show that this is about the money. It's about the league places. And, to me, Levy would rather win a deal than 3 points. And that's why Tottenham are the joke they've been. That's why they've won one thing in 20 years. And the only thing they won in 20 years is because they played one of the worst teams to get to a European final, in 50 years in the final. I mean, they played a truly abominable bunch of jokers, and they win a trophy. But Levy doesn't care. I mean, that's the thing. So you're dealing with Levy. You understand what you're dealing with, and you accept it.
Cade says something here interesting. Are other teams in for Savio or just Tottenham? Tottenham now, but the longer Daniel Levy keeps dragging his knuckles, maybe other teams might come in. What do you think?
No,
quite possibly.
No, I think it's Tottenham. He's Tottenham and nobody else.
Tottenham need him. Tottenham need the player, but I think. But I think, I think there's two different. Well, for me, there's two different situations. Donnarumma strikes me as a little bit opportunistic because of circumstances and whether our hands force with Ederson. I think Rodrygo's a bit more. There's a bit more to that. We need more goals and assists from the wings. We need a player who's a bit harder working, a bit more solid, probably than Savinha. So I think, Rodrygo comes in and he improves. He's a step up on at least where they are today on Savinha, on Doku, on Grealish. Obviously, he's gone. As much as we love Bob, on Bob today, so. In a way, he replaces what we lost when Mahrez went, which we haven't replaced.
Can I just say, and I'm presuming all you three, Elliot, Pat, and Rich, you've all had these same 15,000 text messages. I just want to give an Alan update, because Alan is on his way to Tassie at the moment. Alan's a very angry boy at the moment, ladies and gents. No, he's not calmed down. Elliot, I don't know if you've had the lovely text messages that have all come through, but Alan is very much Pep Guardiola out at the moment, basically. So we're just going to let Alan have a few days to calm down. He's on tomorrow night, so we'll see. But he's a very angry man at the moment. He's a very angry man. He sort of had his dream put in his hand, and then his dream's been grasped away from him very quickly. So yeah, but I'll give you one quote. Pep Guardiola's a double standard hypocrite. How dare he do this? Get the fuck out of my club. Get the fuck out of my club.
You have to be specific because he could be referring to anything, Martin.
Sorry, I got a phone call. Until I get Pat.
No, I was just saying, Alan. Knowing Alan, you have to put a little bit of context on it because that could mean anything with Alan.
Yeah, Alan is a very big James Trafford fan. So as soon as you hear,
you're going to say
so because of Donnarumma, he's losing the plot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also because what we're doing here, we're a bit like Rich earlier. How come we're going from a ball-playing goalkeeper to a guy who can't kick a ball for toffee? What we're doing? Yeah.
I think looking at some of the forums and seeing it, I think there's fairly consistent throughout the fan base. The Rodrygo liking the idea of it. I know there is. One or two notables not on the Rodrygo train. Donnarumma's far more interesting. It's really split people. I think a lot of people think that tactically in the way we play it sounds like utter madness, but there's others who say it's the best goalkeeper in the world. What are you fussing about? I don't know. It just seems a bit like Joe Hart for Claudio Bravo to me in reverse, which it's hard to imagine how we'll play with a goalkeeper who can't play with the ball at his feet as good as Edison. But
to be honest, there's some sort of similarities when you think about it, about how, remember, Bravo lost his spot and then we gave it to Willie Caballero, who wasn't a ball player. I mean, he was okay with his feet, but he definitely wasn't. He was definitely no Edison or Bravo. So with Donnarumma, you're kind of doing the same thing. I mean, there's a big up. Well, it depends on how you look at it because we all love Big Willie Caballero, but
yeah.
Anything else? No, right, mate.
I'm going to be honest. The Donnarumma stuff, yeah, I understand. I am with Rich. I do think it will be a changing style if we do the Donnarumma stuff. I think where the some are a bit upset is I think they feel a bit sorry for Trafford. And I know everyone's going to go, well, this isn't a feel sorry for me game, but the guy's been here 2 weeks. I think if Trafford had been here a year, I think people, you get it. He's been here 2 weeks and it feels as though he's had the rug pulled out from underneath him a little bit, because James Trafford and Donnarumma are completely different footballers, completely different types of goalkeepers. Do not get me wrong, I'm not saying Trafford is better than Donnarumma. I'm not that silly. Of course, Donnarumma's better. I'm not denying that. And yes, it could be just the opportunity as arose. And also, I'm going to be honest with you, I think some players' agents need to take responsibility here. I think players' agents need to start advising their clients better to a situation. So, for example, Echeverri wants to play football now, which I understand is a young lad who wants to play. Why didn't his agent say you've got Phil Foden, Ryan Cherky, or Mamamouche there? When are these agents going to take responsibility? And no one ever looks at agents. And I think that's the bit that annoys me a little bit. No one looks at agents anymore. And they always blame the club.
Martin?
Yeah.
Just start again about why people might be annoyed. Just say that what you just said again. You said something along the line. You said something along the lines of if it was this time next year. Is that what you just said?
No, I said if Trafford had been here.
No, if Trafford had been here for a year.
Yeah.
But I don't think Trafford's planned to play this season though.
No, but he was signed 2 weeks ago. I think he'd have played some games, yeah. That's just my belief. I'm of the opinion. I think they would have slowly integrated Trafford with Edison leaving on a free. But obviously, like you said, opportunities arise, things change. I totally agree with that.
For me, I think Rich said it earlier on. These are two world-class players who we're currently looking at. For me, personally, my opinion. Obviously, people have different opinions. They're two world-class players for me. If you miss these chances of getting these players, and like Rich said earlier on when he said about Liverpool and Arsenal, then clubs come around. Rodrygo could be a serious difference in the title for any of them clubs, and that's including us, by the way. I include us in that.
No, Elliot, I agree. I think for me, it comes. Do you know what it comes down to? Are you an emotional, sentimental sod, or are you just cold?
But I think if you are, I think that's a bit. But I think if you are, I think that's a bit of a problem with liking football, isn't it? I've heard come down to more of a football thing. Like for example, if you look at Isak,
that's just a generational thing, isn't it?
the Isak situation for me, that's like mental. That's absolutely crazy. But then again, I think we all say that with his football heads on. But if he was in Alexander Isak's position, I would say a 9% of us would have done the same thing. Because I always use the term of if you're working in Morrison's and Asda come in for you and triple your wage and say you'd have to work as many hours, you're going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
we're looking at it from the football side of it. We're looking at it from the football side of point of view, the fan side of it, where we're not looking at it from the player side of it.
Yes, but because do you know what it is? Because fans have an emotional attachment to the club. I think players in 2025, and I think it's pretty clear. And I said this the other day: players don't give a damn about the clubs. Really, they're just employees, aren't they? They're there to get a wage, play football, and earn as much as they can, and off they go. So I have never believed in all this kiss the badge stuff.
It's short careers, man. It's short careers. At the end of the day, I said, I think Rich said.
I don't believe in all this kiss the badge. Kiss the badge. Well, I
think there's certain players in there, like I was class like Sergio.
Your boyhood. If it's your boyhood club, you're 100%.
Yeah. Like Ford, like when Phil does it, obviously it has a bit of a different feel towards it, doesn't it? Or
hang on, Trent.
Yeah, but the thing with the Trent thing is, this is where I will stick up for Trent, as much as I don't like him. Liverpool knew what was coming down the road with Trent. Liverpool should have tied Trent up to a deal, which is what we've done, by the way, with Erling Haaland. People always say, oh, he's got a release clause, Don't care. Buy him. If you want Erling Haaland, you have to buy him. This is the thing. People always slate us for what we did. 10-year contract. That's bizarre. That's mental. Chelsea. People that were Chelsea did the same thing. Chelsea are doing the right thing. Chelsea put these people on 7-8 year deals. So if anyone wants to come and buy them, you have to pay what the actual worth, not the 3 or 12, 13 million, which for me were worth. I would probably say 80 million, 85 million. Even more people. So I don't think I like that, to be honest.
Elliot, you're going to be 56k modem at the moment.
You're moving like Pat's laptop.
Yeah. No, I think but I think what Elliot's saying really, is that loyalty is two ways, and Liverpool took for granted and didn't offer Trent what he wanted over quite a consistent period of time. And I think they thought we can just sign him up. He's just going to do what we want to our timing. And things started to get a bit longer. Real Madrid thought, here's an opportunity. They started whispering sweet nothings in his ear and, showing him the trophies he could win and, what life would be like in Spain. And he changed. I think Liverpool could have easily signed him up 2 years, a year before he decided, but I think they didn't. They took him for granted, and he got an opportunity, incredibly lucrative financially, and, can go and live in the sunshine and, I think in a way, I think a bit City did that with Ederson to me. I think Ederson was underpaid compared to nearly everyone else in the first team squad. I think he was the first name on the team sheet. I think we took him for granted. I think we didn't offer him what he was worth. And I think
Rich, after that treble season, he should have been offered. He should have been offered double wages.
Yeah, and I think we broke trust in him rather than the other way around. I think it affected his form. I think for someone who's so ice cold, I think he's quite an emotional bloke, even if he is ice cold.
So hang on,
heart rate of 40 on the pitch.
So, but if you listen to the Donnarumma thing, PSG have broke their trust in Donnarumma. This is PSG kicking Donnarumma out, not vice versa.
I think clearly something has gone down with PSG and Donnarumma. I mean, they've, said they're offering him X, and then, according to L'Equipe, who are pretty good inside, said not come back with the offer. So who knows what's going on there? But something is broken down, 100% there, and he's not even gone on the pre-season tour, has he? I thought he'd been left out of pre-season games.
Yeah, Luis Enrique put a letter out last night saying he has made the decision to get rid of Donnarumma but basically, Rich, it's not his style. It's very similar to the David De Gea situation at United at the time.
Yeah, and I mean that's that's why Donnarumma will be a bargain for. And this is the problem. I'm not sure Donnarumma would be great at City, but I would hate it if he went to Chelsea or United, because he goes to Chelsea or United.
Chelsea have no interest, which is what astonishes me.
That is bizarre. Honestly, that's bizarre because they almost give the rest of the teams around them a 10-point head start with their goalkeepers. But
I think Chelsea seems to be sticking with is it Sanchez? That is I mean, we'll talk about it some more on Thursday night chat when we do our prediction for the season.
Tell you what, I bet Donnarumma was hoping for Manuel Neuer to bloody retire, because he must be about 40 now.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say with this Donnarumma Rodrygo situation is, I think it's clear there's a new era coming at City, and we are getting a new chief exec. And if you remember, there was a rumor, and there was this sort of tidbit of, I think Jack Dawn even said this, of Viana is more ruthless than Chica. So if you remember, under Chica, City would never go for a Rodrygo. They'd never touch a Donnarumma. They'd never go to the upper echelons. It was always, we'd never deal with PSG or Real Madrid.
Yeah,
like you said earlier, Pat. There's certain clubs
Bayern,
you
Juventus,
don't shut up.
we don't.
Yeah.
I
think Hugo Viana. Yeah. I think he's.
We hardly ever did any business with Juventus. Viana comes in, and then within a few months of Viana coming in, we're linked to Cambiasso.
Yeah, and I think people got to realise is that Cheeky only officially left last week or 10 days ago. Viana is daddy with the credit card right now.
Yeah. But the one thing, and this is why earlier in the day, Martin, I was 1,000% believing all the Rodrygo rumours, and I sent Martin a message earlier saying I just thought the whole Donnarumma thing was a complete wind up until I actually went on. Martin said, "Well, it's not a complete wind up," and went online and actually saw some of the sources behind the story. Rodrygo makes sense. Rodrygo, for the last 3 years in Serie A, gets a goal every second game. If we had that, La Liga, if we had that to our forward line, that changes things dramatically. It changes
the main reason I want him, Rich, is he's so clutch in big games. He is such a good player to have once you get past the round of 16 of the Champions League. Yeah,
and he, just like Marmoush, and possibly even more than Marmoush, could go and fill in for Haaland at 9. I think Marmoush is going to be our breakout star this season. So I just think if you've got Haaland, Marmoush, and Rodrygo, you've got goals across the front. You've then got players like Doku who can come on. You've got players like Cherky and Foden supplying them. I just think, you know, that then becomes goals right across the front, which is clearly what Liverpool want with Ekitike, you know, Isaac and...
Say that name again. Say that list again.
Ekitike.
Ekitike.
No, what about the like?
Ekitike.
Yeah. I also think that is, if we do go down this era, and this is just my opinion, and I will go maybe into more detail tonight on stateside, I think you might as well realise that academy players are going to be, how do I put this? Not seeing the light of day for a long time. Because right now, I'm looking at it and I think O'Reilly, Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis, where you all getting in, boys? We're going to go down this road.
I don't know
guys, right. Yeah. Sorry, I need to make this thing. Can we not do personal attacks on anyone in the chat or panel members on the show?
Yeah.
You can disagree with
not
people.
Cool. Not cool, guys.
Yeah. Let's not do that. We're not that channel.
No.
We're not that kind of channel where we personally attack people. You can disagree with Alan, but let's not do the personal, the personality attacks. Come on.
No.
And listen, I mean, someone asking a question, what's my proof Donnarumma wouldn't do good at City? I've absolutely no proof about the future. No one does. I was just surprised that, you know, I've always thought if we go for keepers, we're going to go for keepers who are renowned as for their feet rather than their hands, because that's what we've done for the last...
James Trafford. James Trafford.
Yeah. You know, I rate Donnarumma. I said at the beginning of the show, I think he's, of the old style keepers, he's, you know, it's hard to say he's a better goalkeeper.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's amazing. He's on his day. He's up there with Courtois. He's as good a shot stopper as Courtois, or, you know, like still one for me. The last 5-10 years, one of the best shot stoppers I've seen still was Jan Oblak. I thought Jan Oblak was a hell of a shot stopper.
Joe Hart.
Oh, Joe Hart, of course, yeah. But maybe I'm thinking a few years later,
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, so, you know, if we change the way we play a bit, and if we have a fit John Stones and Guardiola at centre back, you know, and someone who can really pass, maybe Cousinov playing right back, you know, I think you can add enough quality passing and game building at the back to make up for your keeper not being as good. You know, and there's no question if we had Donnarumma in goal during our October-November last year, we wouldn't have lost as many games, because, you know, we went through a point where if you got through one-on-one, it was a goal. And I think if Donnarumma's playing, if you get through on goal, you maybe get half of those goals. So, you know, it's just a funny one. It just doesn't seem like a City signing. But, you know, he's certainly physically big enough, strong enough to dominate in the air and, you know, play Premier League. And I would hate Donnarumma to turn up. I know we say he's not interested in Chelsea, but imagine if Chelsea strengthened with Donnarumma at the back, or if United had Donnarumma instead of Onana, that would be worth 10 points to those clubs. And I don't want to see that happen. So it's a funny one. But the trouble is, you leave PSG, unless Barcelona or Bayern or Madrid want to play, you come into the Premier League.
Yeah, and no one, by the way, I'm not disputing Oscar Bob's class. What I'm saying is, Oscar Bob, I never question. I think McAtee's going to be an excellent player for Forest. But the one thing I don't think, if we're going to go down this Galactico road, if we do that, and that's the new way of doing it, we can't complain about Cole Palmer, Oscar Bob, James McAtee, all these boys if they make it elsewhere. I was talking to someone last night who speaks with Mikasa, knows Mikasa personally. I won't name the person for his own confidentiality. And even Macassa's like, the academy now know the state of play at the club. They know it's limited game time, and that's why a lot of them do leave.
Mm. But you can have... I think that City can have Galacticos in the academy because Real Madrid managed to, Barcelona managed to.
I mean, La Masia is probably the best in the world.
Like we seem particular. Maybe it's because we're much more a team than individuals, but there are plenty of teams who have Galacticos who still manage to bring the kids through. I'm not sure it's the Galacticos that stop the kids coming through. It's the 30, 40, 50 million players who stop the kids coming through. So if we sign Rodrygo and Bob doesn't get game time, well, Rodrygo would rather play on the left anyway. You know, is it going to be Rodrygo's responsible, or is it going to be the fact we play Doku or, you know, someone else who probably isn't a Galactico? Because really, I mean, who's a Galactico really at City? Rodri, Haaland. And I don't know if a CDM can really be a Galactico, but Rodri's the best player in the world, so he has to be. But we don't really have to. Rodrygo would probably think of
no, CDM can be a Galactico, Rich. I mean, Makalele made his name at Real Madrid, so
yeah,
Makalele was sort of like he was like the creation of the modern back six.
But if you actually talk
he
about
did that at Madrid and at Chelsea. So
yeah, no, I think
see,
I don't think he was a Galactico. I think he was one of the core players in the team with who made the Galacticos around him.
He was playing in that Galactico era, though. Yeah, so
he was. Yeah,
depends how you look at it, I suppose. Yeah,
the Galacticos were like Beckham and Figo and Ronaldo,
Roberto Carlos.
Those players, they were the Galacticos. I don't think anyone ever called Makalele a Galactico, even though Makalele is, you know, a phenomenal player. One of the most underrated players the Premier League has seen.
I don't know. I just think if you play as a regular in that Galactico, then you are a Galactico. So, I mean, you could call the defenders Galacticos. I mean, look at Roberto Carlos, Fernando Hierro, like amazing players back then. Yeah,
I think he was better than the Galacticos, but I don't think he was ever called a Galactico. He was the engine. The Galacticos were the posers who, you know, played around the heart of the team.
Yeah.
A few people asking me about, there's going to be injuries. I know there will. I'm talking about when everyone's fit. Everybody fit. And again, this is just from experience and everything else. It's okay, players go in rotate. Not every player likes rotation. And I think, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that I think this idea of rotation, keep everyone happy, I think it's a load of BS. I don't believe in that. It never happens, never works. It's like keepers don't rotate. You can have a cup keeper and a league keeper, that's fine. But a goalkeeper, you do have a number one league goaler. You have a number one left. And the thing is, Rodrygo is leaving Madrid because he wants to play. Even that Maria said that. He wants to play football. He got subbed in the semi-final or the final of a cup game at half-time and threw a paddy about it. That's not someone who's going to be sitting on a bench.
He's not referring to me, by the way.
And the way I look upon it is, you look at the wages. Mamouche's on 300 grand a week. Spent 60 of them. They're not just going to bench the guy. So that's where I do worry for the likes of Bob. Yes, I do. But if it happens, it happens. I've accepted it. I'm happy to go any direction City are happy to go in. Just don't complain if players do end up leaving. That's just football. One thing Elliot did say yesterday to me was spot on. Maybe we've just got to stop getting attached to these players.
Yeah.
And just support all players in the shirt and what's best for City. Maybe we've got to stop being attached to players.
No. That's daft. You get attached to players. There's no point in the game if you don't get attached to players. No point at all. You like them. You have the players.
Well, then we're gonna end up arguing over everything then.
What's football without?
Well, as long as John Stones exists, that's all that matters.
Yeah, Stones and wood.
I agree. And on that note, guys, I think we might start wrapping it up in a few minutes anyway. But yeah, look, yeah, was there any? I don't know, Martin.
We should try and get Stones and Wood as a sponsor for our Australian.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah,
Blues Down Under. Yeah, they could just send us a case each every month. We could have them on display or drink whilst on the show. That would be quite good. They get Chris Wood and John Stones on.
Yeah, that'd be very good. Yeah, still trying to get down to watch New Zealand next month. Rich,
I wish. I don't think it's going to be possible, but you know, he'll probably do Ryan Giggs and have a bloody hammy and not want to travel. You know, although it's a qualifier, isn't it?
No, it's not a qualifier. I think every year or once every couple of years they play like a Trans-Tasman Cup or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised if in that game he doesn't come anyway. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, to be honest. Yeah,
you know, if it was a World Cup qualifier, he'd be down. And I think New Zealand would heavily respect his views if he didn't want to play.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that you know, our lovely, or the lovely England manager's forgotten John Stones exists, so he doesn't get picked for the squad in 2 weeks, because I just couldn't bear the smugness of people if.
Now you mention it, Rich. You know what happened? John Stones will get injured, and then he'll come back. He'll come back and be fully fit, literally days before the international break.
Yeah,
already got a bet on that, lads.
Won't he, Martin?
I already got a bet on that one, to be fair.
I mean, by the way, I am saying, by the way, don't do Player FC. As long as, because the only player I will do Player FC on is my boy Phil. You leave my boy Phil alone. My boy Phil, first name on the sheet. He's never leaving.
What do you think? Contract.
And John Stones.
And
big
John
up,
Stones,
big up 47.
AK-47.
That guy. Don't think he's starting. I don't know who's starting Saturday now. I don't know who's starting Saturday because it's proper starting his head. Yeah. I don't know who's starting Saturday. Would you start Savinio, Elliot?
Say again.
There's an intriguing one. Would anyone
would you start Savinio on Saturday?
No, I won't start Savinio. I just said I wouldn't have him in the squads. Sure.
Oh, so are we giving James Trafford? Are we giving James Trafford his debut and farewell in the same game?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I don't know if any of you have seen. But two betting companies have took Donnarumma off the next move betting.
Yeah, so it's
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's all
so James Trafford will have his debut. He'll have his debut in his farewell game in the same week, in the same 9 minutes.
Not at all. I think if he does well, I think he stays in the team.
I want to answer Pete James's question here. Who's the best Aussie to have played in the Prem? Well, as the only Aussie on this bloody panel, I think technically wise, Harry Kewell, but I think the best player to play in the Prem in terms of the sort of like quality player for the Prem, it'd probably be Mark Viduka for me.
I have to say, I think Harry Kewell. Yeah, I think he was.
Who's the best Aussie to have played for Viduka?
Oh, it's one of the Dannies.
Danny Tiato.
Yeah, Danny Tiato. Danny Tiato was Zabaleta before the money.
Is Phil's fit to play on Saturday, isn't he?
Sorry, someone said I need to calm down. Calm down on what? Phil Foden?
No. Is Phil fit? Is Phil fit for Saturday?
I think they're saying calm down on Donnarumma, Martin, if that's what they're saying, man.
You're the one getting giddy on Donnarumma. You've got his name on the shirt.
Listen, mate, I'll admit it. Donnarumma is my favourite goalkeeper in the world, mate, so I'm well entitled to get gassed about a Donnarumma situation.
Budgie said Daniel Anzani. God's sake. He's already back in the A-League. No, Rich, you know who I think was severely underrated in the Premier League too for his time? There was Brent Amberton. He was really good at Blackburn.
Yeah.
Tim Cahill, of course, too, was good. Lucas Neal had some good years at West Ham as well.
Neal was a good player.
He had some very good years at West Ham.
And Schwarzer, I think, was very underrated.
Isn't Schwarzer up in like the top 3 or 4 in terms of like most Premier League games played?
Possibly. He was a very good keeper. You know,
he's pretty high up. He's pretty high up there, yeah.
This is like England's rating Michael Ricketts up front. These are the levels you go into.
I don't think Michael Ricketts and Mark Schwarzer are remotely in the same league.
About the same club level.
No, I don't think they were either.
Cameron says
Aaron Moy. No, Aaron. No, we can't say Aaron Moy because he never played for Setter.
No, I mean the player himself. He was all right for Huddersfield. He wasn't too bad. Wasn't that bad at all.
Was he okay for Huddersfield? I'm not sure.
There you go. Schwarzer.
I mean, it was very good business on City's part because they I think it was only a couple of years after they bought Melbourne Heart, in the City Football Group, which became Melbourne City, and the amount of money that ended up coming into the City Football Group from his, from us loaning him to Manchester City and then eventually selling him to Huddersfield, it was like 16 million quid. So like we made some damn good money on the player who basically, who I think he'd run down his contract, or he's close to running down his contract in the A-League at the Wanderers, and then he went to Melbourne City, and then they made tons of money on him. So it's at the end of the day, it was good business. Yeah. He never would have made it into City at that time. But
only one goalkeeper in history has played more Premier League games than Mark Schwarzer. He's eighth of all players in any position in Premier League games. Only one goalkeeper's played more games.
Oh, not Schmeichel.
No.
Oh, it's got to be someone. I don't know why I keep thinking Brad Friedel, but he wasn't there. He wasn't there as long as people think.
No.
Come
on, Martin, you should get this.
Ever in the Premier League. Most.
So Schwarzer was second.
A legendary goalkeeper and super striker.
Oh, David James.
Yeah. So there you go. Only
legendary striker.
Severely underrated number 9.
Hey, that clue got you in. Only Heskey, Speed, James, Lampard, Giggs, Milner and Barry have played more Premier League games.
I was saying that David James was very, very young when he made his debut. When David James made his debut for Liverpool, he was very young. He was very young, wasn't
he? James
wasn't James there when Grobbelaar was there? Wasn't he understudy to Grobbelaar as a kid?
Ooh.
No, I think it was. No, I think
maybe a year, maybe a couple of years after that, possibly. James Huckabee's currently on holidays in Australia. James, tell us where you are. If you're in Sydney, let me know because we do have meetups for Premier League matches.
Anyway,
so I'm going Schwarzer, the greatest Premier League Australian.
I was going to say we're back at 11 p.m. tonight, but the way this transfer window's moving this week, we might be back in a bloody hour. God knows what's going to happen.
Saying the way Pat's computer's working, we might. The way Pat's computer's working, we might still be.
Yeah,
I might.
Just to give an update.
Might send you telegrams.
Yeah, we're back tonight, 11 p.m. with a debut episode of Stateside Blues. Start panel on that one. They are Ed. Hopefully Sheikh, Rajak and Tariq is coming on. So that's going to be a great show. Please check out Oil Brothers' debut show last night, which was really good, entertaining. Obviously, amazing show today. My apologies again from us all for the technicalities. Pat's living in 1932 with his PC. Yeah. And yeah, joining tonight because I'm going to wear my brand new Melbourne Blue. Sorry, Sydney, because where it was from. Melbourne
you want to start that again?
Away kit. Yeah,
Melbourne City away kit.
Melbourne City away kit.
You don't want to wear anything affiliated to Alan. It's not Melbourne Blues. Yeah. You don't want to wear anything affiliated to Alan.
Yeah. So I know Martin will know this, but Pat, do you know he's played the most Premier League games for City?
Oh, just for City.
Yeah.
What in the active squad? Because I think in the active squad it would be Bernardo.
No. Who's played the most since 1991 or whenever the Premier League started? Who's played the most Premier League games for City?
Oh God. No, it can't be Sergio because he was injured half the time. David Silva would have played a lot.
It was David Silva.
So that again.
So it was David Silva. Yeah.
So that again.
So Silva's played
309.
Yeah.
Yeah, most
makes sense because I don't even think David Silva's in the top 10 for all time.
Yeah, I think
and my goal. Close. I salute you.
Yeah, I think De Bruyne would have got past him if it hadn't been for the last 2 years where he really tailed off. So be interesting, you know, who's played the most currently. Bernardo. I wonder how close Bernardo's getting to.
Bernardo's just over 400. I heard the other day that.
No, but that's over. But that's in all comps.
Oh, so is it? Oh, okay.
Premier League. He must be getting close to the most Premier League games for City.
Yeah.
And then we're back tomorrow. We're back tomorrow 9 or 9:30 for Thursday night chat, where we'll do our season preview.
And Martin, I think we should start the Thursday night chat by you saying you've been to training and you saw the team that's going to start against Wolves, and Kovacic is back from injury, and him, Bernardo, and Gundo are starting in midfield. You know, just to get people feeling optimistic for the new season.
Yeah. I am at Wolves on Saturday as well. Big up, Marlon, you.
Yeah, no, Bernardo's only 266, so he's unlikely to get there. Assuming he goes this summer, he's not going to he can't make 309.
No, not going to
Anyway,
happen.
Over to you, Patrick.
Yeah. No, that's right. Thank you, Martin. You've heard from Martin what's coming up over the next couple of days. I've got to say, looking forward to that the stateside Blues. I'm really looking forward to hearing what our American friends have to say about all things City. So, looking forward to that. Should be a great panel, and give the guys all the support you can. Again, just wanted to quickly say apologies for my Commodore 64 quality computer tonight. I have no idea what happened. I'm actually staring at it right now, and it's still trying to load. Well, when I say still trying to load, obviously probably means it's dead. So I'll have to get that all sorted out, hopefully in time for next time I'm on the show. But guys, look, it is what it is. Of course, as we always say, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Big up to with our memberships, Aaron and Adam Quinn as well too. Thank you very much for all your support as well. We'll leave it at that. Obviously, Rich, always a pleasure, mate. Never a chore. We'll look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Yep, look forward to it. And
hopefully thank you, Martin.
Get the IT guy in before next week.
I've got to get the bloody car service tomorrow morning more than anything. So let's just get that out of the way first. Until then, we might have to kickstart Alan Turing's Enigma decoding machine at this stage. So we'll see what happens anyway. But look, we'll leave it with that. Martin, as always, a pleasure. Thanks, mate. And we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, and thank you to
and as always,
Incognito.
Take care, everybody. And always up the Blues. Come on, City.
Chrissy Wood. It's my new ending.